Welcome to episode number 91 of The Closing Table with the Lawyer's Title. I'm your host, Tamara Gady. Today, my special guest is Sue and Chris Wallace with Freedom Boat Club, and we will start our conversation right after this.
Welcome to The Closing Table with host Tamara Gady, where we break down how to be successful in real estate and what it's really like to work in the real estate business. This is The Closing Table with Lawyer's Title.
Welcome back again. I'm your host, Tamara Gady. Today's special guest are Sue and Chris Wallace. They are the owner and general manager of Freedom Boat Club. Now, this is a club that I joined 4 years ago.
Yeah, just about.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of questions about the boat club. As a matter of fact, I got a text from one of my clients last week about the boat club. So I know there's a lot of curiosity about it. So I wanted to bring Sue and Chris on the show today and talk about what is Freedom Boat Club. They have local docks at Pier 121 in Lake Louisville and Lake Texoma, but there's 400 locations nationwide and international.
Yeah, worldwide, 400 plus.
Yeah, I've been down to Austin, but we're going to leave the ocean with the ocean. Anyway, so I want to go ahead and get started. This is part of my Participate Together in Life series. We are going to talk about boating the VIP way. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hey, appreciate
Glad you guys
it.
are here.
Yeah, thanks again.
We have a great time when I come out to the lake. I always have a good time. Everybody I bring has a good time. So we need to talk about what is the boat club, and so that anybody else that wants to have a good time without having to do a whole lot, which is one of my favorite things, we need to tell them all about Freedom Boat Club. So let's start with what is Freedom Boat Club. So you're going to answer our first question for us, yeah?
Happy to. Yeah, Freedom Boat Club is a membership-based boating club where we buy and maintain the boats. You join the club and get trained and go out in the boats and have fun. So that's really, it's as simple as that. So come on out. No.
Well, no, but there's some cool stuff that you are not mentioning. Okay, we're a woman-owned business. We love women-owned businesses.
Yes, no, we're woman-owned, family, and
Family-owned, yes. You and Chris have the same last name, so you're related.
A little bit, yeah. some days more than others.
Well, and tell me, Sue. Okay, so why did you want to get involved in this, and why did you want to start Freedom Boat Club?
Well, I've been in corporate America, and one of the plan Bs was I want to do something where people are out having fun and enjoying themselves. And I was looking for an opportunity. Heard about Freedom Boat Club from a colleague.
Okay.
And said, oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. It's a good business idea. The people in North Texas would have a lot of fun with it.
We love the lake. North Texans love the lake.
Yeah. So I researched it for a short amount of time and bought into the Freedom Boat Club network.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so you guys are the owner operators of the local clubs.
Yes, North Texas.
Okay.
We have Louisville and Lake Texoma.
Yeah, but when I went down to Austin, I told you I went and tried it out on Lake Travis.
Yeah.
I had equally the same experience as I do with, I mean, they didn't know me like y'all know me. That's more fun. But,
yeah.
The experience, the treatment was still the same. And that's one thing that I really enjoy is you guys seem to have the same philosophy about how you run the clubs, right? Whenever one of your members goes to another club, you want them treated like how those members are going to get treated when they come to your club.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is one of the biggest benefits, I think, of the Freedom Network is we love hosting other people's members because it gives them an opportunity to come in, see how it's boating somewhere else. And it shares the joy across the world, really. We were club number 130 when we started at Lake Louisville in 2018, and Freedom's grown to over 400 clubs in U.S., Canada, Europe, Australia, and those are all places that our members can travel to and take a boat out.
Yeah, I think I saw something about France or Italy or something.
Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scotland.
I'm pretty sure I shouldn't be on the ocean. Let's just...
Well, now, a lot of those places you can schedule captains to take you out.
Oh, well, that's an excellent idea.
If it's a
let's do that.
Place, yeah.
I mean,
I know Chris and I were talking on the way up here, and he said there was a club in Miami, which I'm going to be in South Beach in a couple of weeks, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
He said, but that's big boy town, you know what I mean, with boating. And I'm like, I don't think I'm a big boy. I don't think I can handle that.
You've got game. You can handle it. We can
I did mess
put you
up
in
my
touch.
perfect record last summer, okay, because
Oh, no.
we were floating in the water. Yeah, don't look at me like that. You know about this. We were floating in the water, and of course, you're floating in the water, and you see the boat moving, and you're like, okay, well, we're going to have to get out and get it moved. Yeah, now Chris knows what I'm talking about.
Now it's coming up.
And then the wind came through, and I'm like, oh my God, and I almost passed. And we kissed a pontoon and then kissed a nice post that was right next to the, and I'm like, make it stop, you know? It's like, it's not my boat. And I had a perfect record. Like, I've never gotten in an accident. And Chris is going to, we're going to tell some stories because we got some stories.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard you tell some stories before.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so I was like horrified. And of course, the guy that owned the pontoon, he was like, hey man, my pontoon's already been through hailstorms and we've already clunked up the other corners. So like, don't even worry about it. And I'm like, really? Really? And he's like, yeah, no. I was like, I'll give you beer or something, you know, something. Can I say I'm sorry? So, you know, he's like, no, it's totally cool. And then I'm like, I'm going to rip this post out of this like, with my bare hands. So anyway, yeah, I kissed the corner of the Sea Ray. And Chris was very generous about it. Well, also, I bought down the insurance. I have like the zero deductible thing. But, and we'll talk about all that later. But anyway, I was horrified. And then whoever your manager was at the time was like, well, I'm going to have to put it on your record. And I'm like, really? Do we?
They stick to some strict rules, but
Anyway, so yeah, I think, and that shook my confidence for a little while, right? When something like that happens, because you want, look, I don't know about everybody else, but I feel a very great responsibility when I use other people's things. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I always want to be careful and respectful that is not my boat. Okay. So,
Thank
you know,
you.
like, anyway, we'll move on, but that was my little clunker last summer.
And one of the things we do that's unlimited training. So if you do get to where you're anxious about something or want some extra practice, we'll always schedule you for some training.
We've been
with
talking
the
about it.
captain.
I need to get out there and get some of that done. It's been a crazy 6 months, but we will work on that. So, okay, we talked about the fact that it's a women-owned business, very important. We've talked about the growth of the club and the locations. Let's kind of talk about, I want to talk about more, what does the club look like? Let's kind of break that down a little bit, and let's break down how someone becomes a member. Chris, you want to take that
absolutely.
one?
No.
Because we can talk about the training.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't, by the way, get to just get the keys and have fun.
No.
Okay?
No, definitely not.
I'm not a member.
Yep.
I call your salespeople.
Yeah.
And I say,
That's
I want to inquire. Oh, that's you now.
That is
okay,
me.
I'm sorry. There was a person.
Yes.
There's been a
there
person.
was.
So I want to become a member, Chris.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what that looks like.
Of course, yeah. So you would just call, inquire about membership. I mean, you have a one-time initiation fee. You have a monthly fee that you would pay monthly, just 12-month agreement, and take care of the training pieces, and you're on the water in style.
Okay, it's a little more complicated than that.
I'm trying to simplify it.
I want to make sure that don't present it as scary.
Of course.
But the way I describe it is like a country club or any kind of private membership club, right? Is you're going to have that initiation fee, and then you can write a check for the whole year if you want. I used to do that, and then I just flopped over to the monthly because you just ding my account and we move on down the road.
Yes.
So, but you have different types of memberships.
Yes.
So can you talk about the different types of membership?
Yeah. So we have memberships for, people that are just getting into boating. They're not entirely sure how much they're going to use it. So we've got light and local memberships. We've got a weekday plan for those that have more flexibility during the week. And then everything up to the full freedom plan, where you've got the unlimited access across the United States. And finally, we've got, some friends and family plans, some corporate plans, and then that fancy plan with all those fun surf boats that everyone loves. So.
Oh, yeah, we don't do that. We also don't do that double decker. Anytime someone asks, because it has a slide, and I don't do kids.
That's okay.
So anytime anybody asks me if I can get the double decker with the slide, I say that takes a special certification, which I do not have. Okay. I don't know if that's still a thing, but I'm going to use it till I die.
Yeah,
okay. slide.
Yes, it
I wanna take the
is.
boat with the slide.
I totally get it. That's a whole nother level of responsibility there.
Yeah. And I don't take the wake because the wakeboards require.
So the wake surf boats, yeah, that's an additional training,
Yes.
and there's some special things you got to know about them, but they are really great boats.
Okay, so one of the common questions I get all the time is, do you have to have a boating license?
Yes. Yes, you
So
do.
talk to us about, because I'll tell you how I describe the certification process. So
Sure.
do you remember when you took your pre-real estate exam classes? Okay, and you took your real estate exam? Yeah, it's kind of like that. Okay, y'all don't know what that means, but Jesse, my producer's like, oh yeah, I know what that means. So it's no joke. Okay, and I like the fact that it's no joke. Okay, it was. How many modules? There was
So there is 6 modules and a final test that you have to take. So each of those modules is roughly an hour. So even before you head out to the dock, you have about 7 hours of training and testing under your belt to get that license.
okay. Now you're oversimplifying it again. So if you don't know anything about boats, okay, you're gonna have to take a little extra time
Yes.
to learn the terminology and learn where all this stuff is. And your little lake boat's a little different than your ocean boat.
Yes.
And something about some channels with how to pass through a channel. And I was like, I'm never going through channels with commercial boats.
Yes. No.
Yeah,
it-
there's a
Once you
lot.
get done, you can operate a vessel on the ocean.
Absolutely. It's a universal training. So
Yeah.
you take it to Florida, you take it to California, you take it up northeast. That training is good universally because it is so detailed. You're
It's
going
very
through.
detailed. Like again, I'm not trying to scare anybody.
No.
I'm just trying
Good.
to make a point that it's very thorough.
Right. No, it really is. I mean, that training alone is super thorough. And then our captain training also extremely thorough. I mean, you need to be out there for at least 2.5 hours. And that's if you have some boating experience. Most trainings last anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. And you're practicing maneuvers. You're making sure you're comfortable behind the wheel, docking the boat.
Yeah, pulling in and out of
anchoring.
slip and-
Well, exactly. All the things that you need to do to stay safe on the water, you will practice during that one-on-one time with the captain. So all in all, I mean, it's about 10 hours of pretty, intense instruction. But the biggest thing is, we want to make sure everyone has fun, but we want to make sure everyone's safe too.
Yeah. And I agree with that. So when you're on like one thing to understand, Lake Texoma and Lake Louisville are very different lakes. Okay.
Yeah.
And every 4th of July, we hear about bad stuff that happens on Lake Louisville.
Yeah.
And so I've actually watched the vehicles pull up. I mean, I think when we were leaving last 4th of July, there was like 10 fire trucks, ambulances. I mean, it's not good. And so while Lake Texoma is a little bit more relaxed, Louisville just is an inherently challenging lake.
It's a busy lake.
That's a great way to put it. A busy lake. I'm not here to scare anybody because we have a ton of fun and it's 100% completely worth it.
Oh, yeah.
But understanding how to be defensive on the lake
For sure.
and protect yourself, protect the people that you're with, and have a really good time. That certification training is what prepares you to do that. So it's really
Absolutely.
important. And I very much enjoyed the fact that I had to go through that because I wanted to know how to be safe.
For sure. Everyone needs to know how to be safe if you're going to take out any sort of craft on the water, whether it's a kayak, canoe, or a speedboat or a big yacht. I mean, you need to know what you're doing out there on the water. And, Lake Louisville is a great lake because there's opportunities to go have fun, go have a good time, but there's also opportunities to find a little cove, anchor up, swim around, just enjoy time with the family.
That's what we do.
Yes.
We don't do Party Cove anymore.
No.
Okay, so we kind of broke down with the membership, and then so we do the online certification. Then there's club videos and training online
Yes.
that you do, and then you go out with the captain and you learn how to you do practical application
Absolutely.
of your training, and then you get to use a boat.
Yes. Yeah. So all in, from the time you sign up, you're all eager to get out, but you got about 10 to 12 hours of instruction before you're able to grab the keys and take the boat out yourself.
And I think that's I just really appreciate that.
Yeah.
that you guys do that.
Oh, absolutely. It's important.
So I heard that there's a realtor referral program. Who wants? Because hello,
Yeah.
this is a real estate
Yeah.
podcast. So who wants to talk about the realtor referral program?
Well, I will.
Okay.
So we're excited to partner with realtors because they're kind of the heartbeat of the community and people in the real estate profession, because you have a lot of people coming into town that you show homes, and also people that move around. So we have a $250 off card, and it's a really nice envelope that has a card that you can present to the people that buy the house, your clients, and say, hey, here's $250 off a Freedom Boat Club membership if you want that. So, and we also offer realtors, if we have somebody signs up, then, we'll also give the realtor a thank you gift card.
And that's $250 off our lowest price available right now. So
Fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to say yes, y'all.
Yes, and we're happy to send out the invitations. It looks like an invitation. I mean, it's really nice.
That's very cool.
That we can send out. So if you have an interest in that, at the end, Chris will give some contact info, and we'll
Absolutely.
send you some.
We'll make sure everybody knows how to get a hold of you guys.
Oh,
Okay.
We did tap into this, so I'm really excited with the realtor referral program.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a referral program, so
For sure.
we'll make sure that all of our realtor friends know about that. One thing before we move forward, okay, we didn't talk about the type of boats that
Yes.
you have. So and that isn't even a question on here, and I don't know why it's not. So why don't we talk about
great.
the type of boats that
Yeah.
we have access to? Because people ask me that all the time.
No, it's a great question, and I get it all the time. Everything. I think the biggest strength of Freedom Boat Club is the variety of boats that we offer. So everything from Tritoons to speedboats, surf boats, center console fishing boats. We've got those fun slide boats that you're never going to use.
Yeah, not doing that.
Yeah, not happening. But we've got a wide variety of boats for any type of, enjoyment on the lake. If you like fishing, we've got something for you. If you like time with the little kids, just making sure to get the family time out there, we've got the Tritoons. If you're built for speed and you want to wakeboard and ski and whatnot, that's there too. So we've got brands, that everyone recognizes, like Sea Ray, Regal. We've got Axis Surf Boats, which is a Malibu brand, Harris Tritoons. I mean, some real high quality boats, and we're really excited about, the variety that we can offer and the variety of experiences that you can have on the lake.
Yeah, I have my favorites that I like when I come out there, but
I know your favorites.
But yes, you do. But every once in a while, I do have to get the Tritoon because I have more people. It's like driving Grandpa out on the lake, and so I prefer the Sea Rays or the Regals or the Bayliners, those kind of boats. But it is nice that there's a variety of boat, because if you have a different need, right, like I said, I mean, every year I take the first Lawyer's Title Frisco staff on the lake. That's one of my thank yous to the hardworking staff in my office. So we have Lake Day for those crazy people, and so we need the Tritoon for that, right?
Oh, yeah.
We got extra people coming, but the variety of boats is a big deal, and so. But also, I think that something else that I think is a big deal is it isn't just coming out to use a boat for the day. You have other member benefits, like social gatherings and things like that. So, who wants to talk about our events that we have?
Socials are huge. I mean, we've done everything from sunset cruises to larger member events. The sunset regattas are always popular during the summer. They're fantastic. It's a great way to get out on the lake on the days that we're closed, and a good opportunity to kind of get to know other members and build a better community on the water. So,
but you also had the wine tasting.
Oh yeah, and the off season, we kind of look outward during the off season, and we go to different restaurants, places in the area. We like to do local if we can, and we just have wine clubs and bring members together that way when it's 48 degrees and you don't want to be on the water.
You don't want to be on. But I do keep a go bag. So once football season hits, the lake clears out.
Oh yeah.
Yay. And so it's harder for me to get people to go, though, because kids are it's sports is back, school's back, sports is back. But I will grab a book and I'll keep a go bag in my car, and if there's a nice day, I've been out as late as November, and I've been out. We had a couple of years ago a string of like 80 to 85 degree days in February. I was out. So you guys are open all year
round.
You have limited boats. I mean, most of them are winterized,
For sure.
but but you can still get a boat
Absolutely.
anytime you want. So I
No
go out there and nobody is on the lake.
No one.
You know,
It is all
so you
yours.
get a book
Yeah.
and, turn on some music
Yeah.
and I don't even have to anchor.
No.
I just float in Party Cove and every
Float.
once in a while I'm like, okay, we're getting a little close to shore, but
Back it up a little,
back
yeah.
a little, but
Yeah. I mean, different times of the year, grab a long sleeve,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you can get out there, you can still enjoy the lake, be outside, and it's a year-round club. I mean, there's stuff to do year-round on the lake for sure.
yeah, and I typically defer to Louisville, but Texoma is probably about 10 minutes down the road further from me because I
Yep.
live in Salina.
Mm-hmm.
And I discovered, when did you guys open Texoma?
We opened Texoma in 2023, and it's about an hour down the road from Louisville.
So, 23. So I didn't start going out there until last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I love
The
Texoma.
sandy beaches,
They have the
islands
islands in the middle.
Yeah.
They have more marina activity with restaurants and things like in the various marinas.
Yes.
Around. I got friends out there. So I very much enjoy Grandpappy. Grandpappy Point. Grandpappy Point
Grandpappy
Marina.
Point. Yes, ma'am.
What a name for it.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful lake out there.
Yeah, it's
It
very
really
beautiful.
is.
Not right now, but it will be again.
It's clearing. It's just
clearing,
take-
yes, it
takes
is
a while.
clearing.
There was a lot of rain.
We
but
better be
it's
ready
good.
for 4th of July. That's all I have to
Oh,
say.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
coming up, aren't
I already
you?
made my reservation.
She's booked.
Yeah, well, I don't mess around with the holidays,
Nope.
So, okay, so we did talk about some of the member benefits, but what I do think is incredibly important is the VIP red carpet experience when you arrive at the dock. So when I get to the dock, we load up all my stuff. Now I'm a professional, okay? So I have my wagon,
Yep.
and
You know what to do.
We know what to do. So you basically bring your towels and whatever you want to drink or eat for the day, no glass, and obviously, hello. And then I do have some extra equipment in my floaties, and I've got ropes for my floaties,
Always.
and I've got my own pump and all of that kind of stuff. But because I don't want to blow that stuff up and head out to the lake, because then it's blowing all around. You know what I mean?
We want to go out with you.
Yeah, no,
You know how
I'm
to
fully
do that.
stocked. Yeah, I'm fully stocked. I've got
Yeah.
my own trash bags. I got napkins. I got all this stuff. That's in just my go bag. But anyway, what I want to talk about is when you hit, I don't even make it down the slips before people are out and greeting me and saying hello and welcome back, Tamara. And, let's look up, because I don't never know. I'm like, what? I know I have a boat. Where am I going? So let's talk about how important that red carpet experience is and what that really looks like when your members show up.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for us, that red carpet experience is what differentiates us from, any other club that you could possibly look at. I mean, my dock staff are trained to, as soon as you see someone, let's say they have bags or, a cart that they're pulling, they'll come over and assist you with whatever you got, help you load everything onto the boat, make sure you have all the equipment that you need, whether it's tubes, skis, wakeboards,
Extra life jackets,
yeah,
whatever it
anything
is.
like that. They'll go over the safety equipment with you on board, make sure you've got everything you need there, and really there for you if you need anything else or if you have any special requests. I mean, we have people that come down in wheelchairs, and we'll meet them
Really?
over at the absolutely, and we'll meet them over at the walkway and help them load up there because it's just an easier lift.
I
over
would have
there.
never thought that I never thought about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. No, I mean, we'll accommodate as much as we can. We like to make sure that our members feel like this is a VIP experience, that they're, treated well when they come and go out on a Freedom Boat Club boat.
Yeah, I'm one of those, I don't really want to do anything. I'll just be honest. I just want to get on, and sometimes I connect my own phone and sometimes I don't. To the stair. We got to make sure you got music, right?
Of course.
That's
So-
the most important.
Yeah, but it's that, that experience because it's the weekend. It's time to relax and you don't want to have to worry about a whole bunch of stuff. And you guys make it super easy. Like put all the stuff on there. I'm not trying to figure out how to get a cooler on the boat. You take it off the boat. The guys are there to help you unload the boat, help you get out of the boat.
And Tamara,
Nobody's ended up in the lake yet.
No, and I know you have your go bag, but there are trash bags on the boat.
I know there
In
is.
case you don't wanna bring them.
That Regal had a trash can. We were impressed
Yeah,
by
it
that.
did.
We were
Yeah, it
impressed by
did.
that.
Oh, yeah. No,
Our own
these
trash can.
yeah, these
little things,
It is. It really is. These new Regals
Those
definitely
Regals are pretty slick.
Yeah.
Everybody was pretty impressed with those.
very excited about those
What's
boats.
that knob on the steering wheel.
Yeah, no, it's just it makes
just-
it easier to turn. It just instead of having to, like you say, old grandpa style,
Yeah.
you just take it and a little wand.
That's what I thought, but I was like, yeah, I'm just use steering wheel.
If it works, it works.
It's there too.
yeah. No, those Regals are pretty slick. Okay. But that is one of the things that I really enjoy most. Is that you really just don't have to do anything. You're not taking advantage of it. It's just the service of the club, right? To
Absolutely.
make sure that everybody feels like they're well taken care of when they hit the dock.
For sure.
Okay. So I have a lot of people that are like, well, I thought about buying my own boat. I've never thought about buying my own boat. Sounds incredibly
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
And I want a boat.
That's
I want a boat club.
yes.
So, can we talk about the differences
Yeah.
between owning your own boat and being a member of Freedom Boat Club?
Oh yeah. I mean, owning your own boat, obviously there's people like it because they want what they want. They want a specific type of boat or kind of boat, and that's all good and well for some people. But for the average individual that, they don't know where they're going to store it. They don't know where they're going to trailer it from. Are they going to get a slip in the marina? Are they going to, what insurance are they going to buy? There's all these little things that add up when you start looking at boat purchases that even if you get a great deal and you get a 15-year-old boat that
Yeah.
you're getting for, 20 grand
Sure.
or something, all of a sudden the little stuff starts adding up. And, just from a purely financial standpoint, it's about a wash if you get a really, really cheap old boat or Freedom Boat Club. And if you start getting those newer boats, the more expensive boats, financially, it's a no-brainer, especially if you're not 100% sure what you want. But just from a time standpoint, right? Because that's the most important part. When you're out on the lake with family, friends, you don't want to be having to trailer that thing. You don't want to have to do your own maintenance. All of a sudden, July 4th, you go to your boat and it doesn't turn over.
work. Yeah.
What happens?
Yeah.
Right? You wait in line.
Yeah.
At Freedom Boat Club, we've got backup boats, right? So if your boat breaks down, we'll come out, we'll get you, we'll swap you onto a new boat. Away you go with the rest of your day.
Yeah, I mean, I have friends that own boats, of course. And I have one, and I won't tell you, I'm not going to name his name.
Okay.
But he is a client, and he's been texting me. We've been texting back and forth for probably about 2 years about boats.
Okay.
And I was like, I almost said his name.
Careful.
We have to protect the innocent.
Yes, we do.
I said, why don't you just let me take you out there one afternoon?
Yeah.
We'll go out for an hour. You can meet everybody. You can really see how easy it is.
Oh yeah.
And I'm serious. Every spring we go back and forth, and he's like, "Well, I still hadn't done anything yet." And I'm like, "Another summer wasted,"
It is. It
And
is.
I said, "Meanwhile, I've been out every weekend."
Yeah.
And so,
Come on out.
what does he do? He bought his own boat.
Oh
He
boy.
texted me. It was about time for his spring check-in.
Of course.
Haven't been on the boat once since November. It's May.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
We hear it
And
all
I'm
the
like,
time.
okay, well, that wasn't free.
No.
So,
No.
when you think about owning your own boat, you've got the slip. Are you going to slip? Are you going to trailer it? Do you have a truck to pull it in and out of the lake? Where are you going to store it? How do you winterize it? How do you get it ready for spring? Oh my God, you got to gas it up. You got to wait. Everybody's got to wait. If it breaks down, who's going to service it? I mean, once you start thinking about this stuff, I was like, no.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Lease my car.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
Yeah.
because
Good call.
I don't want to deal with it breaking. I want to give it back before it starts breaking down. Okay.
Tamara, you leasing a car is the least surprising thing about you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Love service.
That's right.
I mean, we're busy.
Of course.
We got stuff to do.
Yeah.
I don't have time to sit around while you try to fumble around and get that boat in the lake off the trailer.
Well, and
Yeah.
to be honest with you, some of our best members are former boat owners because
Yeah.
they come down to the dock and they're tired. You see it
Yeah.
on their face. They're
Yeah.
like, I've been putting up with this old hunk of
Yeah.
junk for the last 20 years and I'm just tired. I'm ready for something else. And it's so much easier.
Yeah.
It just is.
So much easier. Okay, so we have a couple minutes.
Yep.
I want to tell stories.
Yeah, let's do it. I didn't bang the table. I wanted to.
Okay, so you cannot say names.
No, we'll
You
do
can't
it.
get anyone in trouble.
To be honest, I don't remember a lot of the names anymore.
Well, you
so.
told me a story.
Uh-oh.
So I asked the question, how many accidents do you get before you get booted out?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You told me a story about someone who took a boat and ran a tree trunk down the middle of it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's happened more than once.
It's happened a couple times. I would
But this
say
isn't that person's first
no.
incident.
No. So, look, accidents happen,
Sure.
right? We understand, maybe you get a little nervous and mistakes happen. But, once you have 2 major incidences, maybe 3, it's time to start talking about, hey, is this
Right for you.
really for you?
Is that right for us?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that's a different conversation. I think that's more internal. Is this right for us?
I think I've had 2, I'm going to say scary, but they're not really scary experiences. But I've had 2 experiences where I have taken people out on the lake. We've gotten out to the lake and then they inform me that they cannot swim.
Oh, yeah. No.
Life jacket on right away.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah.
And you decided it was a good idea to go on a boat and come all the way out to the middle of this thing when there's no one around.
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay, what do I do? Do I take them back to the dock? Or, I mean, I made one of them put on multiple life jackets.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They need to be in a life jacket if they don't
I
know
have
how
not
to
been
swim.
trained in survival swimming. Okay.
Right.
I can swim to like right there and
Right.
get the floaty or the beer or
Absolutely.
whatever it is. I don't drink on the lake, but and get, I can get from point A to point B. As assuming point A is not like a mile and a half to 3. I'm just, I can do it.
You can paddle around.
I can do it. I can swim.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I am not here to lug your butt back onto the boat. Okay. Now that was part of the certification,
Oh, yeah.
but I was like, really?
Yeah. Yeah. When you have someone that waits till you're all the way out in the middle of the lake, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I did have a dock hand one time that didn't know how to swim, and God love the kid. For the 2 weeks in a row, he would go to the pool with his buddy, and he learned how to swim, and I was very impressed.
That
at
is
his
just some
dedication.
serious
We need that.
Oh yeah.
initiative.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I told him, I'm like, until then, you were life vested up when you were out here. You're not going to be out here by yourself. Like, we'll make sure we take all the precautions.
He's
But hey,
running
good on
around
him.
lifting coolers with a life jacket on.
Yeah, like hopping between boats and oh my god. But he
safe.
was up front when I interviewed him, and I was like, that can work. We gotta work on some things there, but yeah, we could make that happen.
Because you usually get like kids home from college
Yeah.
and things like that to help with the docks in the summertime.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've been really fortunate to have a lot of great help over the years from, a lot of kids in the area, a lot of kids' parents. They have boats at the marina. One of my favorite hires of all time was, my mom reached out to me and was like, hey, if you need one more dock hand, there's this young lady who would really like to go work for you guys. She's going to stop by. And just go interview. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I'm wrapping up the day and I see this boat coming in. Now, you've been to the fuel dock, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes when you have multiple boats in there, it can get tight, right?
Yeah.
Parking wise.
Well, just passing through to get
yeah,
to the dock is
exactly. It can be
one at
tight.
a time, people. One at a time. Okay.
So
It's busy.
I am about to push this boat off, and this young lady comes and parallel parks a monster of a boat. I mean, this thing was a big boat. She hops off, introduces herself, and I'm like, you're hired.
Yeah.
That was the easiest
Yeah.
hire I've ever made.
Now, what people have to understand about these dock hands
Mm-hmm.
is you're not in air conditioning all summer, okay? And ain't no floating in the lake in between
No.
members showing up, okay?
No.
So you guys are sitting on the dock, you're in the shade,
Yep.
but humid, 100 degrees outside,
Oh, yeah.
schlumping all the things.
Bags and, towels and filling up tubes and getting life jackets.
I think, what doesn't it sound fun? I want to be a dock hand at Freedom Boat Club,
Mm-hmm.
But when I start seeing it, I'm like, no.
You got to be heat tolerant.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Have you had-
You got to be in shape.
I would think
Yeah.
you got to make sure everybody stays hydrated.
For sure. I mean, that's my big thing. We got a giant water cooler in the office. Everyone can take breaks. I've bought fans out there. I need to buy a new one because the fan we got just broke. But always
Great
have fans
flavor.
out there. If it's a particularly hot day, we'll buy a bag of ice and the kids can just use it to, put on a towel and stick it in their head.
The office has air conditioning, so they can run over to the Unity dock if they need it. If it's a health issue.
No, for sure. And my biggest thing is I want to make sure that all of my employees are in good shape, because there is nothing worse than having the busyness of, getting members in and out and dealing with a dockhand who just kind of overexerted himself.
Yeah.
So
You gotta be careful. Well, I think you guys you've already demonstrated that you're very concerned about safety and everybody's well-being and health. So I'm not surprised that you make sure that you take really good care of your dock hands.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we're going to wrap up for today, but I want to make sure if you're interested in more information about the boat club, well, you can reach out to me, but I would recommend you also go to freedomboatclub.com. Or you can call 972-532-1901. We'll put all the information on the screen on the way out. But thank you so much, Sue and Chris, for being my guest today and letting me be a member of Freedom Boat Club, because I wouldn't want to spend my summer any other way. So I really appreciate my membership and friendship and you guys getting to come on the podcast today. It's great.
We love it. We love having you as a member.
Really appreciate having you, Tamara. And one little plug for Tamara before we close out today. She always brings my staff out Gatorade.
That's right. We
and
got to keep them hydrated.
So helpful. It is so much appreciated. And every dockhand looks forward to Tamara coming out.
That's right. Relationship management at its finest. That's right.
She's doing great.
You do it well.
For them, okay? They work hard. So make sure they're all taken care of. So thank you for that, Chris. And that's a wrap on episode number 91. Again, I'm your host, Tamara Gady. If you like my content, you're really going to love my escrow team. So give me an opportunity to talk to you about your title needs, and you guys make it a great day.